All right, we are back with another Risky Chicks episode, and today I'm joined by our CEO, Chip Gibson. Chip, you haven't been on the podcast.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I've been negligent with the Brothers of Risk side of things, so I decided it would be a great time to jump on with you.
For sure. We have a lot of topics we're going to cover today. A big thing is that I have switched roles in the agency, which is really exciting. I've moved from our accounting department, which I've been in for 7 years, and I switched over to a new role that was presented to me, which I was super excited about. It's our training coordinator. We are growing as an agency, and with that comes with a lot of new hires that we're bringing in, and our goal is to retain our talent and keep our culture in this company good. So we're going to focus on why we kind of have introduced this new role, the training and development. We're going to bring up our other core key members involved in the educational path, such as our in-house university, which is fun. We're going to talk about organizing the chaos that kind of brought this role up, what success looks like to us, our goals, and just what's next. So, what do you think?
I think that this conversation started with multiple years of strategic planning, and in that process, all the managers, supervisors, etc., give feedback, and we do a SWOT analysis to simplify things. So we look at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I would say every single year, finding talent, developing talent is on that list, and it just we never meaningfully addressed it. And we would do things here and there, and we would, we've started with committees, but we really found that we needed to make a jump in 2025. We talk about growth as an agency a lot, and this is one of those areas where, even though we put our goals on the wall and we mentioned growth, it's not just growth about numbers. It's not just growth from the premium standpoint or commission standpoint. It's growth for everyone and everything. So this we found was a really important thing to help the team grow their careers, career pathing, and creating more opportunities. So, because without growth, there aren't future opportunities that are different and new and interesting.
Right.
Another piece of the puzzle is like stepping back from a macroeconomic side of things. You probably listen to the news, read something online, and the unemployment rate is always brought up. And let's say it's 4.5-ish, 4.7-ish. The insurance industry is well below that. The insurance industry is under 2%. It could be even under 1%. Because I don't even know how they get the numbers on the specific insurance agency side of things, and it's been really hard. And I'd say we've been putting a ton of time and effort into trying to hire the right people, and it's still not enough. So this is exactly why we wanted to launch this new division
And retain our talent.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
We talk about our long-term vision being a regional employer of choice.
Yep.
We want people to be at DG. We want people to stay at DG. And I think this role will help emphasize that. I think another issue that's come on our plates is that the managers are busy day to day with everything going on. And I think it's hard for them to find time to really dive deep into their new hires and their onboarding and keeping them on the team and making sure everything's going smoothly. So I think in terms of retaining our talent, having someone focus on this area is beyond helpful for the management.
Totally. What I see is because the unemployment is so low in the industry, a lot of our competitors and even us at Deland Gibson, we're not overstaffed by any means. I'd say we're probably in a much better position than generally the insurance agency marketplace. But it's still like you hire someone, and does the team have the time to set aside to really onboard and train at a level that's really going to make a difference?
Right.
Or are they just training to be able to get the job done? And that's the difference that we want to accomplish and grow through with this role, because we understand that the managers have a lot on their plates, and training, when they have training to the next level, is just not as feasible as it may sound. So that's why this role was created, because we really want to focus on, and we have like tons of stuff we're not using.
We do.
Like we sat down and went through that, and we have consultants with amazing learning platforms,
right,
and we have other areas of training, and it's just like, oh my goodness, all this stuff is really underutilized.
For sure. And
can we get more out of that if there's a meaningful push to get it done? So that into what you mentioned earlier with our core values, it all goes back to lifelong learning is one of our core values. And so if we want to walk the walk with what we say we are and what we want to be, this is just something we have to do.
Absolutely. And I've only been in this role for a couple weeks now, so the past couple weeks I've kind of been gaining my intel from the departments and seeing what's working, what's not working, what could be useful, what's not useful, what's time consuming, and how I can be of better help to them. In those meetings I did present kind of the resources that we do have, and no one knows about them. So it's kind of spreading the word that we do have resources to help us. We do have resources to help take time off people's plates. And that's just as important as the training aspect.
Yeah, and it's just, you think of how much of a difference we can make if we can utilize what we have at a higher percentage. Like I talk internally a lot, from technology to training. It's like, if we're using all of our stuff at 25%?
Right.
What would it mean if we move that to 35, 45, 55%?
Right.
And so that's what we just want to make incremental steps to be better on that front.
For sure.
And getting back to the regional employer of choice, it's I feel that the industry, number one, has a really bad brand from people that aren't in the industry. Like if you were to poll recent grads, the insurance agency or insurance industry in general is probably not in the top 10 of what people are looking to do. But I think that is just a brand problem on our front. If you look at what you're doing in these roles, the industry, there is so much to offer, and it's a really the industry is not going anywhere, and it's
longevity.
Less volatile than others. So we want to do a better job of being like, hey, we have these programs to get you in, to start you from scratch, to develop you.
Right.
We can show what the steps would be along through your career here for growth, as long as you hold up your end of the bargain by working hard and accomplishing things. Like there's a lot of opportunity here. So that is really what we find really important. And being the regional employer of choice, without a part of the I wouldn't say issue, but there's been a lot of change in the insurance agency and broker ecosystem with consolidation. And I feel that a lot of the consolidation causes a focus on integration and just making sure that these two companies are working well together. And so it takes focus off of the client and off of development of people. So that is an opportunity for us to focus on those things. And it's I've heard people come here and almost say it's like the good old days of insurance, whereas the focus is on the right things. So that's where our goal internally of being a regional employer of choice is, we want to be the good old days of insurance. We want to have our core focus be on the client and not have the same distractions that other companies logistically have. So so that's a good goal.
For sure.
But but a big one.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up kind of when it comes to our employees, making sure that they're set up for success. You know, like a big thing I've been working on is creating roadmaps for if we have someone come in that's an advocate, but maybe they want to be an account manager, what's that roadmap going to look like for them, and what are their expectations? What do we want to see from them, and what goals do they want to hit? So I think being a lot more transparent with our employees and our new hires is also huge.
And setting expectations.
Yeah, setting
Because
expectations.
With the roadmap that you are working on, if you can have a concrete time frame and or it doesn't even have to be a time frame as much as like what you can accomplish.
Right.
If you could accomplish this, then you're
making the right progress.
Then you'd be on your way to going to the next level. Whereas sometimes we've found that people, without the right expectations, people might want to be promoted when they're not ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that can cause resentment and issues of like, why the heck am I not moving up as fast as I thought I would?
Right.
Well, if there's a roadmap that they understand that you've worked on them with it, there's less area for confusion or poor communication.
Full transparency, absolutely.
Yeah. And one of the really cool things that we've expanded upon with your promotion and with others in the organization is really expanding DGU. So DGU is Deland Gibson University.
Our in-house college.
Yep. And Andy Denton is running DGU, whereas we put on 6 to 8 hour-long sessions a month. Mm-hmm. And it's been phenomenal. They range from really basic stuff. So there's a track for new, inexperienced people. There's a track for experienced people, and it's been great to see. And in fact, Andy, we call him the Chancellor now because it's he's running the show as the college of the university. So that's been really fun to see, and the participation's been great. Yeah,
definitely.
And they've gone over. I was just looking back in preparation for this. I was like, what are some of the topics? And the for people that are new to insurance, they're talking about COPE, and COPE is an industry specific thing that if you're not in insurance, you wouldn't have any idea what it is, but it's construction, occupancy, protections, and exposures. And it's all about the underwriting of property, and so it's really gets to the foundation or really basic level, but that's really meaningful for someone that's new to insurance. Mm-hmm. All the way to for a more experienced person, we have bond underwriting. Bonds 2.0. There's a lot of ERISA bonds. There's tons of different areas that they're focusing on, and stuff that we run into on a daily basis. That's like really good to get a refresher. For example, contract review was another class they had, and that is paramount to commercial insurance. So it's great to have Andy. So we promoted him to director of DGU, and he's been able to spend more time on this. And if because he is a wealth of information on his own, but if he can spread that out to other people on the team, we're better as an organization.
And the departments, I've kind of put in the department leads' heads that if anything's maybe popping up in the background that maybe the team is confused on, could know more about, they would bring it to me and I could bring it to Andy being like, hey, we need a DGU class on this topic.
Exactly.
And we also will have outside people come in. Like our public adjusters will come in and do a class. Our claims department will come in and do one. So it's nice to see that, the entire team of Deland Gibson is willing to kind of step up and help educate the rest of the team members. So
it brings it all together. For example, we had another one where Paul Lunn, Kevin Malloy, and Patrick Sarkis came in to talk about sales and talk about how they are on the front lines of things, and that helps an account manager understand the process better. So
you're right.
It brings it all together, and it's fun to get the entire team involved in it because it just shows that people are engaged.
Absolutely. So in addition to Andy Denton's role, we also have Betty Maurice promoted to our personal lines training leader. So I've been working a lot with her. She is kind of diving deep into the personal lines team with training. Our new acquisition team members that come and join DG, she works with them. And me and her have been kind of buddies in this whole system because she's kind of my other piece of intel of what's going on in the personal lines department and how their onboarding's going and how their training's going. And me and her have been able to build documents that are expectation sheets, schedule sheets for new hires, and like I said before, creating those roadmaps for when our advocates want to graduate to become an account manager. So yeah, it's been great to kind of have some people in my corner in this new role, and really good communication as well.
Yeah. It's just like, as you talk, I get excited because the industry typically doesn't have any of this. Mm-hmm. So I see this as an opportunity for people that have no experience to feel comfortable joining an industry they might not know anything about.
Right.
It can be a leap of faith because it's a new industry. You might have been working in tech. You might be working in finance, and I feel like those tend to be larger companies with more ability to do stuff like this. So people are used to having programs, onboarding, training teams, and that's where I think it's just a huge opportunity for the insurance world to do this and to have just a concrete path for new hires and for experienced people.
Yeah. It's been fun. I've been busy.
Good.
Booked and busy.
Good. And so we talked a little bit, but we talked about organizing the chaos.
Yes.
So it was interesting that you mentioned a lot of people just don't even know about the stuff we have.
Right,
which
yeah.
is, another prime example. So what's been the biggest aha moment with one of the meetings that you've had where people are like, oh my gosh, we have that, and I didn't know, and let's use that.
Like our educational resources that like provide videos or courses or even documents that our producers can print and use going to network or meet clients even. I don't think people know that they can come and ask like, hey, do we have something like this? I think that would be helpful. Another thing is just creating those expectations for the new hires. I've been meeting with, we had commercial lines. I've been meeting mostly with them because that's been our most recent new hire. But just creating like an expectation sheet even for them and just making sure everyone's on the same page. And I'm aware that, the managers and the directors like already have a lot on their plates. So it's just making sure that they know that I'm here to help and I'm a resource, and that they don't need to take so much time out of their day. But as long as they know that they need to communicate with me on how I can be more helpful is kind of what's been important to me. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And I'd say what the aha moment for me was, we've been, prior to organizing this and promoting you and really establishing this department, we were super inconsistent with the training. And Tony from EB, who's training to be a producer, texted me or emailed me because we check in on Fridays just to see how like the week's been going, et cetera, et cetera. And shout out to Insight Performance Group. He's like, the producer onboarding for Insight Performance Group was the most impactful training that he's had at this point in time in his career.
That's great.
So I was like, oh, it's so great to hear.
Yeah.
Because some of this stuff, it's a necessary evil. Like when you're learning Applied Epic, you're going through a lot of the stuff.
A lot of videos,
It could be a lot, but it's you have to do it.
I know.
And it's maybe not the most interesting stuff, but it's good to hear that some people have been really
having
excited
positive feedback,
and positive about it, because it's not always fun, but again, it's the grinding work you need to do.
Sometimes it can just
get
be
to the next level.
The onboarding process at every company out there. I think everyone would agree with that.
Yeah. So I think one of the pieces that we've talked about before with unemployment, et cetera, is that there's just not enough people in the insurance industry. So even if this podcast can encourage one person to reach out to a independent agent and say, hey, I'd like to try a new industry, that would be a huge win.
Right.
Because again, there's just not enough talent. There's not enough top talent in the industry. We can, there's a McKinsey report probably 10 years ago at this point, but they're like, over the next 7 years, 50% of the workforce is going to be retiring.
Wow.
So I just haven't seen, I've been almost 20 years in the business, I haven't seen the onboarding and the onboarding necessary to fill all the roles that there are in insurance. So it's just a push that we need to make as an industry. We need to show people the value of the industry and what type of career that it can allow for.
Absolutely. I think this was a really smart choice that the agency made, and I was very excited to be selected for it. And with my conversations with the department leaders, they also seem excited that kind of we have someone to focus on this area. So it's all been positive feedback on my end as well.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been fun just even having, so like when there's a new hire, I spend 15 to 30 minutes with them to go over the strategic plan, and having you on that, it's been great as a supplement to, I will go into the big picture, but then you'll bring it down to the day-to-day and how it's going to affect them. And it's been great to see how engaged and on point you are with them. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored.
and even the email you wrote to follow up on your progress, it gets me more excited about the things we can do.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's a new role, and I think, including myself and you guys, like, we're all starting from scratch with this role, right? Yeah. So as I think I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I'm like gathering my intel and like seeing, where our missing links are and, all that stuff. So it's a work in progress, but I think I'm collecting all my puzzle pieces.
But it's been a great start.
It's been a great start, yeah. I'm very happy, so.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being back on. We'll have to have you join for another episode, and stay tuned for next time.
Awesome.